Beginnings in the desert. The sun was scorching in Mecca, and the sand was burning underfoot. Muhammad, a 40-year-old man with a kind heart, often went to Mount Hira to meditate. He did not like the polytheism and injustice of the Quraysh tribe. One night, in a quiet cave, the angel Jibril appeared with the first words of Allah, recite, "In the name of the Creator." Jibril's voice sounded like thunder, but Muhammad's heart trembled. He returned home, his whole body trembling, and told his wife, Khadija, about it. She held her husband's hand, her eyes filled with tears. "Allah will not let you be in danger. He chose you because you are honest." In the following days, Muhammad quietly conveyed the message, "Worship only Allah, be just, and be charitable." The people of Mecca mocked and threw stones, but he was patient. A poor boy named Omar approached, "Sir, I believe in Allah. Please teach me how to pray." Muhammad smiled, placing his hand on Omar's head. The path of light begins from the heart of the city. Blood and tears. The persecution became more and more intense. Abu Bakr, his close friend, was beaten to death. Bilal, the black slave, was left on the hot sand with a stone pressed against his chest. Yasser and his wife, Sumaya, were tortured to death for not renouncing their faith. Sumaya whispered before she died, "Oh Allah, forgive those who harmed me." Muhammad hugged the bodies of the couple, tears streaming down his cheeks. He whispered, "They are the first stars on the path of martyrdom." Allah ordered the migration to Medina. Late at night, Muhammad and Abu Bakr quietly left Mecca. The enemy pursued them, and the two hid in the Thor cave. Abu Bakr worried, "If they look down, we will die." Muhammad comforted, "Do not fear, Allah is with us." Spiders spin webs, doves build nests to cover the cave entrance. The enemy leaves, building a community from love. When Muhammad arrived in Medina, he did not choose a palace. He built a house of clay, then built the Masjid Nabawi with his own hands. Jews, polytheistic Arabs, and Muslims lived in harmony thanks to the Medina Constitution, the first document to protect the right to multiple religions. One day, he saw a group of children playing. Little Zaid fell down, and his head was bleeding. Muhammad picked Zaid up, washed the wound with clean water, and told him stories of the prophets to help him forget the pain. Zaid's mother cried, "He is better than your own father." Aisha, his wife, said, "He never hit women or children. He laughed so much that his crooked teeth showed." War and forgiveness. The Quraysh attacked Medina. The Battle of Badr, 313 Muslims against 1,000 enemies. Muhammad raised his hands and prayed, "O Allah, if we lose, there will be no one to worship you." The wind rose, the sun flew everywhere, the Meccans fled. But at the Battle of Uhud, the Muslims lost because they disobeyed orders. Hamza, Muhammad's uncle, was killed. Hind, the Meccan general's wife, cut open Hamza's stomach and ate his liver. When they finally won, Muhammad met Hind. She was frightened, but he said, "Today no one will be punished. Go home." Victory through mercy. 8 years later, Muhammad returned to Mecca with 10,000 followers. The Meccans were trembling with fear, waiting for revenge. But he declared, "Today is the day of mercy. All is forgiven." He entered the Kaaba, destroyed 360 idols, but did not kill anyone. A blind old man who had hated Muhammad for 20 years was startled when he heard his voice, "Why don't you punish me?" Muhammad replied, "I have come to teach forgiveness, not revenge." Lessons from simple things. A meal for a poor woman. That winter, Medina was in a long famine. Muhammad woke up at dawn, his stomach growling. He tied a towel around his waist to ease his hunger, then went out to tend the date palms in the garden. Aisha came out and saw her husband picking up the ripe dates that had fallen. "Do we have anything to eat today?" He chuckled, pointing to 3 wrinkled dates. "Allah has given me enough." At that moment, sobbing sounded outside the gate. A thin woman held a pale baby. "Please save my child. He hasn't had anything in his stomach for 3 days." Muhammad looked at the 3 dates in his hand, then gently placed them in the mother's hand. Give your child half and eat the other half. When the woman left, Aisha saw her husband's eyes filled with tears. He whispered, "Today, Allah wants to teach me a lesson about sharing." Loving hands. In the afternoon, Muhammad visited Salman, his old friend who was seriously ill. The hut was dilapidated and the smell of herbal medicine was strong. He knelt down, personally changing the bandage on Salman's festering wound, each movement as gentle as a mother's. "You are the messenger, why do you have to do this?" Salman gasped. "Allah loves those who help their brothers," he replied, his voice warm. When they returned, the Sahaba saw Muhammad washing his hands thoroughly with water. Bilal was curious. "Sir, why did you take so long to wash your hands today?" "I just touched the wound, afraid of infecting everyone." Lessons from everyday life. One morning, a group of children gathered around Muhammad as he sat under a tree. The innocent boy Abdullah. "Do you know how to play peekaboo?" Instead of preaching, he happily closed his eyes. 1, 2, 3. I saw Abdullah hiding behind Ali. A burst of laughter rang out. Salama passed by, surprised. "What are you doing?" "Teaching them how to live happily is also preaching, isn't it?" he replied, his eyes sparkling. That night, when the Sahaba discussed the construction of a magnificent mosque, Muhammad shook his head. "Don't build a marble mosque while the poor have no place to sleep. My religion begins from the heart, not from the walls." The last words. The last month. Muhammad was suffering from severe fevers. Even so, he tried to go to Masjid Nabawi every morning. That day, he had to lean on Ali's shoulder to get to the pulpit. The thousands of believers fell silent when they saw his pale face. His voice was weak but clear. "My brothers, I feel that Allah is about to call me back." A sob rang out. He raised his hand to signal silence. "Do not cry. Listen to these last words. Divine instructions." Muhammad looked at his wives. "Treat women with kindness. They are companions, not slaves." His eyes stopped at the group of slaves standing at the back of the mosque. No one is superior to anyone because of blood or skin color. Only devotion to Allah makes a man great. Then he asked the whole hall, "Have I conveyed the message of Allah?" "Yes, Messenger of Allah." The whole hall said in unison, "O Allah, be my witness." He looked up to the sky, 2 tears rolling down. The last moment. On the 12th of Rabi al-Awwal, the pain became more intense. Muhammad called Aisha closer. "Give all my wealth to the poor. But you only have the shirt you are wearing and a few coins. Then give them those." As the last rays of sunlight shone through the small window, his breathing became weaker. He whispered, "With noble friends in paradise." Aisha hugged her beloved husband tightly. The room was filled with sacred silence. Light lasts. The fire continues to burn. After Muhammad's death, Abu Bakr stood before the panicking crowd. "Whoever of you worships Muhammad, know that he is dead. But whoever worships Allah, Allah lives forever." The words were like a bucket of cold water poured into everyone's mind. They recall his final words, "Pass on this message, even if it's just one sentence." Chapter 2, The Journey Through the Centuries. In the 21st century, in a small village in Indonesia, 10-year-old Ahmad sits listening to his grandfather tell a story. Once upon a time, there was a kind man named Muhammad. In Africa, Dr. Amina uses the principle of Zakat to build a free hospital. In Europe, Muslim girl Maryam patiently explains to her neighbors the true meaning of the hijab. Chapter 3, The Immortal Message. At an interfaith conference in New York, cleric Ibrahim said, 1,400 years ago, Muhammad taught, smiling to your brother is charity. Today, science proves that smiling reduces stress. Is Islam always ahead of its time? The audience applauded. A Catholic nun stood up. We admire the spirit of charity in Islam. At the end of the story, the image of the Kaaba appears under the starry sky with the words, "And I, Allah, have sent you, Muhammad, only as a blessing to the whole world."
Phần bình luận đến đây là hết rồi. Xin chào tạm biệt và hẹn gặp lại. Ô ô.